Nintendo finally showed off more Switch 2 games, and the internet freaked out. But not because of what was showing, but because of how they're being sold. Yup, it's happening. Game key cards, they are taking over. They are literally taking over physical releases, and we've been warning about this for months. Now it's official, and it's a lot worse than we thought. Let's talk about the fallout from that Nintendo Partner Direct, guys. It just dropped a couple days ago, and it was mid. Let's be completely honest, it was mid. Some decent third-party stuff was showing, but it felt like filler. There were a few standouts, sure, but overall, it wasn't the kind of sizzle that you would expect to hype up the Switch 2. You know, a console that's barely 2 months in. You would think they want to try to sell you on why it's a value to own a Switch 2 at this point. But no, they did not. What really mattered wasn't the games themselves that were shown, guys. It was the fine print. That small fine print that you see on the box of any of these cartridges. Yeah, a shocking number of these titles they showed. Guess what? They're not full physical releases. They are game key cards. And ugh, I hate that. It's official, guys. This isn't a rumor anymore. This is the future of physical on the Switch 2, whether we like it or not. Here's the game key card reality, guys. If you're confused, here's what this means. You'll buy a physical box of a game, and inside, it's just a card with either a code. We've seen that with Split Fiction, or there's a game that has a cartridge, but guess what? That cartridge doesn't actually hold the game. You essentially pop it in, and it's a license agreement that lets you download and access the full game. So yeah, it's basically not an actual physical game. It's their way of being modern in this digital age. And look, I get it. Some of you thought this wouldn't happen. Maybe a few companies would try it out, but now, as a result of this Nintendo Direct that we saw the other day, it's basically everybody. Let's go down the line. We got Dragon Ball Sparking Zero. It's a game key card. Persona 3 Reload. Game key card. Octopath Traveler Zero. Game key card. Star Wars Outlaws. Madden 26. That fucking soccer game. Yep, guess what? All game key cards. What's the real reason why this is happening, guys? Well, this is the new normal. And why is this a new normal? Simple. Cost, right? Nintendo Switch 2 cartridges are expensive to put a game on. And some developers just don't want to pay it. They don't find any value in putting an actual physical game on a Nintendo Switch cartridge, which I believe goes up to 64 gigabytes. And the number I've been seeing floating around is $17 per physical cart. If you're a publisher and your game is under 10 gigabytes or way over 64 gigabytes, it makes zero sense to put it on a cart, right? That's how they're looking at. You lose money or you have to sell it for $70 just to break even. Nintendo is basically putting them between a rock and a hard place with their pricing structures. And now, as a result of yesterday's news, there might be even bigger price increases going on for products, games, accessories, you name it, for the Switch too, because market conditions is what they say. And let's not forget, Xbox and Sony, they're able to do Blu-rays for under $1 each. But Nintendo has to be the one platform that makes its own proprietary physical media, right? Nintendo always has to be different. They couldn't just do Blu-rays. You tell me which platform is actually more attractive to third-party devs. The one where you can get a Blu-ray printed for $1 or force yourself to have basically a small little SD card with a game on it. You tell me. And why should this worry you, right? That's what people always want to know. Why does this matter? Why does it affect me? Well, guess what, guys? This isn't just about the price. It's about long-term preservation. It's about ownership, right? A game key card is essentially just a receipt for a full digital download. And when that server shuts off, you're done. You're not getting that game back. Sure, that might be a few years from now, a decade from now, who knows? But look how many of the actual previous eShops are still around from Nintendo. Nothing before the Switch. So, what does that tell you guys? And before you say, well, it's still at least physical-ish, well, just wait, guys. Companies will drop that key card too, and then it'll be all digital. It'll be just like Split Fiction and some of those download-in-a-box games that we're seeing out there. And some of you guys might be like, okay, I'm cool with that. I'm modern, and I'm into this. It matters to some people, guys. Physical collectors, it matters to them. And to be honest, I think there's way more physical collectors that play on the Nintendo Switch 2 than actual people that are okay with digital. I know that's kind of hard to kind of track and keep track of, but for the most part, every single person that's watching this, you want actual physical games, right? If I'm not mistaken, that's a huge percentage. So what needs to change, right? What should happen? What could happen? What needs to happen out of this whole thing? Well, here's what should happen, right? Nintendo needs to do one of three things to fix this situation. First, they need to introduce multiple cartridge sizes like they did with the Switch OG. Right now, we just have 64 gigabyte ones, but we need an 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, you name it. Then they need to lower the price of the current cartridge right now from that $17 price point, and maybe they should eat some of the cost themselves. Subsidize key third-party releases so that we get the big heavy hitters like the Maddens, the Call of Duties, the Street Fighters, you name it. So they can actually be full releases and not game key card releases like we're seeing for this launch. But do I think they'll do that? Honestly, no. Nintendo's in a comfortable place, guys. They got our money. Everybody's buying it. They don't need to cater to us. And unless the market really pushes back, they have no reason to budge. They're not going to change their ways. They don't need to. And they know it, which is why they're even pulling this crap with the market conditions and raising the prices. So yeah, if you want third-party games on Switch 2, guys, get ready. You're either getting a download code in a box or a game key, or even just a download at that. At this point, they're moving away from actual full physical releases, and as much as it sucks, you know, we gotta vote with our wallets. I have not bought a single game key card for the Switch 2 at this time. I refuse it. I've been buying digital only. I know some people are like, well, what's the difference? The difference is that if game key cards actually get supported by more and more people, we won't see actual full physical releases like Mario Kart World, like Donkey Kong Bonanza, like Cyberpunk 2077. I mean, there's only like less than 10 actual full game releases on the Switch 2. Everything else is a freaking game card or a download in a box. And to me, that is just wild. And I don't know what Nintendo's smoking, because some of those games on the Switch 2 are actually on the cartridge for the Switch OG. You can get the Switch OG version of some of those same games, and the game is actually on some of those cartridges. What's the difference? I tell you again, it's because it costs more to put your game on a Switch 2 cartridge, and Nintendo is just trying to get money from everybody. They're trying to get money from you, they're trying to get money from me, they're trying to get money from the developers, and it's working. It's working, and there's nothing we can do about it. Full physical cartridges are becoming the exception, not the rule, and it's only going to get worse unless the entire industry decides to push back. But the industry goes where Nintendo goes. It's always been like that, guys, for decades and decades, and they know it. And again, that's why market conditions live and die by what they want to price their stuff. And the game key situation is just going to be getting worse, guys. Whether we like it or not, it's going to be getting worse. And I hate it. I know you guys hate it. What do you guys think? Are game key cards a deal breaker for you still? Would you still buy them? Are you getting over that? Or is this where you draw the line? Let me know in the comments. I do read them. And if you want real talk, like Wings of Redemption says on Nintendo News, without sugarcoating, make sure you hit that subscribe button down below. We're on the road to 100,000 subs. Hit the bell. More updates are coming, and I'll be here to make my videos and thoughts about it. I'll see you on the next one, guys. Peace out.